Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 67. It's Ilya here, and as always I'm super glad to have you on my YouTube channel. As you know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what can we expect for the upcoming week. So it was a massive week. We had some pretty nice movements on some of the pairs, so I'm gonna show you as much as possible so that you can extract as much as possible from that video, learn something, and actually go and apply it to your charts, because this is the aim of this video, just to provide you with an overview of what the market did and potentially some outlooks for the week ahead. But you know that on Monday the market opens and then it can be a totally different story than what it was on Sunday, and this is why I'm providing you with a Tuesday analysis on my Telegram. So make sure to click the link in the bio and join the Telegram as well. And if you're new here, it's my channel is all about trading. I share weekly analysis, I share educational content as well, and I'm about to share more psychological, emotional about my journey and this sort of stuff, which is really helpful. So make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell in order not to miss all the content that is upcoming. And if you already did, let's see what do we have for this week. Alright, as always, starting with a little look at the DXY. Let's see what the dollar this week. So if we zoom in like on the weekly time frame, because I always love to have a look just as the most recent weeks and what is happening, what we can see is that we had a massive drop to the downside, and then the market has been trying to continue down, but it failed. It just filled all of those wicks to the downside. Then we had two bullish weeks. However, have a look at the previous week. I said that we have a wick and that there is a very strong weekly area around these sort of levels right here, which we're gonna see on the daily time frame. And you can see this week actually pierced through that area, came all the way down right here, and then found a little bit of support, which we're gonna find a supportive level on the bottom as well. So nothing significant for the DXY. And as you can see, the daily time frame, we can see right now, and we can potentially readjust the line a little bit. This is the major area that we spoke about. The market didn't really reach it, but we can see that there is a little bit of like a little tip. There is never a support and resistance can never be just a line. All right, it's a zone. It's something like this. This is a zone of supply and demand, support and resistance, whatever you like to call it, but the market respects a zone, not just the single line. All right. So from a daily time frame, just having a look at the last 5 days, the market opened right here on the 14th of September with a little bit bullish push, but then it started forming support from the bottom, Then we tried to push all the way up, grabbed the liquidity, pushed all the way down, and then again on Friday we found support, which we're gonna see on the 4-hourly time frame, which I love. This is my favorite time frame. This is the time frame that I trade from, and what we can see right here is that the market has created this supportive level and is failing to break below it. All right. So we pushed lower, it was looking very bearish, then we pushed higher, it looked like it was about to break above the structure, then we flushed down, so we said all right, we're going short, but then the market found support, broke above, retested, providing us with a short opportunity on Euro USD, then pushing higher again into the zone, and then rejecting all the way back down, and then consolidating at the bottom. So what do I expect for the DXY right now? Well, it's a little bit unclear, because if you just have a look at the most recent price action, it's kind of consolidating, right? We try to create bearish trends, which are shorter term movements, which we can capitalize on Euro USD and on the other pairs, but then again the market turns into a little bit of a consolidation, looks like bullish, but then finds resistance again, flushes to the downside. So it looks more short bias right now, but I'm definitely worried about the supportive level. So what can happen? The market can either continue to consolidate, or we might pull back a little bit, form a lower high around these areas, and then push to the downside. And if this area is broken, it will turn into resistance, and then we can head lower. All right. But in order to say that the dollar is bearish, guys, I need to see a break of this very strong supportive level, because the market can just continue to consolidate, or it might even start turning bullish. All right. So make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis. Nothing is clear for now on the DXY, so let's see what the next week has for us. Euro USD weekly time frame. So what we can see right here is another week of consolidation, another doji right here. You see the previous week was doji, and right now this week is as well a doji. And what I can see right here is that we have a very nice level, but as I said, we have a zone of support, which we're gonna see clearly on the daily time frame. What we can see is that the market is consolidating on the daily time frame, and it's perfectly clear. We have the zone again, like this is a zone. How I can draw it, let's see, I can have it something like this, and the market, it seems like right here, created that base, tap, 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 it fails to break below, and as well it fails to break above. We have the resistance as well. So on EURUSD we are in a consolidation after an uptrend, and like the basic concept of how the market moves is uptrend, distribution, downtrend, accumulation, uptrend, and the same repeats. Like, this is very basic, but what we can expect right now is that we have an uptrend, distribution, and then the market can start pumping to the downside. But this is just pure speculation, and I will make sure to wait for the structure to change first. All right. So not many clear opportunities on EURUSD except on this one, and we actually took it with the team. So what we saw the market doing on market open, it wasn't very clear what it wanted to do. It started to create a little bit of a bullish price action. So we had a long from right here, but this was Monday night, which we couldn't capitalize on, but it was definitely very clear. Then the market made a higher high, which was perfectly fine. But then on the attempt to make a higher low, the market broke all the structure to the downside. It broke this higher low and then perfectly pulled back in around this area, providing us with a nice shorting opportunity. The first long opportunity was right here, which is, as you can see, 2 o'clock around that time, which I'm sleeping by that time. But then we have this pullback again for a lower high formation. And then if I drop to the 15-minute, you can perfectly see how the market slows down, shows us that the bears are entering. And then what do we have? We have this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trade. We enter right here on the break and the retest with EMA confluence and with other confluences staying behind this as well. And then we have our target exactly right here for a beautiful 1 2 3. And yeah, I think some of the team as well had runners, but then those spikes right here stopped them out. But as you can see, the market perfectly tapped into our daily supportive level for a massive 1 to 8. So my current aim for my strategy is to actually develop a strategy for exits, and in order to maximize the returns. And as we all know, what is a very famous saying, let the winners run, right? All right. So this is the trade for EURUSD, and afterwards then we had this very strong push to the downside. The market pushed very strongly to the upside, and after this happens, we are confused about what might happen. So keep all of those drawings on your charts, but what I'm gonna focus on right now is where the market is reacting from. This is my resistance area. As for support, we have the downside right here, because the market creating a lower high, lower low, but right now we're creating an equal lower high. And what I always expect after an equal lower high is the market to give us a little pullback to the downside to create an inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then potentially to continue to the upside. And this will depend on the DXY as well. All right. So EURUSD currently reacting from this area, but nothing is for clear right now. So definitely gonna wait for Monday to develop, and then on Tuesday I'm gonna let you know what I see, because right now I don't want to give any bias, because after this bullish push I can expect a pullback for the market to continue up. So definitely we'll let Monday to play out and then see what do we have. Euro JPY weekly time frame. This was a very nice pair to be traded. The JPYs were the MVPs for this week, so we had pretty nice movements on the JPYs. And as you can see on the weekly time frame right here, we don't have a doji, unlike EURUSD, but we have a nice bearish candle to the downside, providing us with a few shorting opportunities. Then we have on the daily time frame something that is pretty major. We have the market creating this sort of shape, like pushing to the upside, starting to distribute again, and right now turning to the downside. We already had the distribution phase. Right now we have a break, potential retest, and I would expect Euro JPY to start flowing to the downside after creating the first high and then lower high sequence, push, pull back, push. So we have the ABC, and right now I expect the market to start rolling to the downside. So dropping to my main time frame, which is the 4-hourly time frame, just to show you the opportunities. First opportunity, beautiful trade, exactly from right here when this lower high was created. You can see that the market was moving down. We had the creation of the lower high. The second one was right here, but it was a little bit hard to catch. And then this one as well was on Friday, which I didn't capitalize on. So let me just quickly show you guys what is up. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Very simple market structure with another confluence that the market broke below this structural level right here, creating a lower low, which immediately increases our odds, right? So right here we have all of that consolidation. We have a bearish engulf, then we have a little pullback, and if I just show you in the 15-minute, it will make absolute sense. What do we have right here is the market consolidating, introducing the sellers, coming back to retest the broken structure, which is exactly right here, with another confluence as well. So the entry was taken from right here. Oops, come on, where's my short? From right here. The stop loss was above the structure. 13 pips, and then as well we have our measure for the take profit, which was exactly right here for a massive 123.8 R&R. So this was the first trade on Euro JPY, which it continued massively, and this again made me think, bro, you have to let your runners run, right? Winners run, sorry. Second trade, this was actually very clear, but I didn't take it. I'm not sure why. I wasn't at the PC. Yeah, it was at 2 o'clock. This is exactly New York Open, and I was somewhere else. Absolutely the same, guys. Have a look at this uptrend. Have a look at this massive introduction of sellers. Have a look at this retest of the structure. The trade was taken from right here, from the wick, and the stop loss wasn't placed above right here because this didn't make too much sense. But you can either place it above this little structure, which is a structure on the 15-minute. But personally, I would have placed it right here above this wick, because if I go on the 5-minute, this will be structure. And again, as you can see, we have our targets, which were hit very fast. Yeah, this didn't make too much sense because it was like even below 1 to 2. But as you can see, then once the volume started to get introduced, we had a massive flush that you can just hold your trades and see how it goes. Third opportunity was exactly from right here again, but it didn't provide any retest. It just flushed to the downside. So the only way that we can capitalize on this one was just having a sell stop or just entering after the bearish engulf. But as you can see, two beautiful trades on Euro JPY for this week. All right, so getting back right now to see what can happen. So the market created a lower high on Friday, which was very beautiful, but as I just spoke about, we couldn't capitalize on this one, and we have the support on the bottom as well. And where is the market right now? It's in the middle. So what do we want to see? We want to see some sort of pressure. Right now we're still trending to the upside, so I'm looking for shorts if the market does not break above this area, turn into support, and then continue to push to the upside. This is the only circumstance that I'm gonna be looking for longs. But as for shorts, what can happen is that the market, if I start seeing some rejections around those areas, then I can potentially look for shorts. But for me, it will be very nice to see the introduction to the downside where a new lower low like this, lower low, pull back, lower high, push, pull back, lower high around those areas, and then I can continue trailing it to the downside. So Euro JPY looking for sales, but currently I don't see a tradable opportunity, so definitely gonna wait for Monday to develop. Just a very quick look on Euro Aussie because it was a little bit messy this week. So we have this indecision weekly candle, and again we have this very strong supportive area right here sitting on the weekly time frame, which is pretty major in that, and the market is really failing to break below it. Daily time frame, if we have a look at the the last 5 days of price action, which start from right here, 14th of September, wick to the upside to grab liquidity. Then again, a huge wick right here, tried to continue but failed. So what do we have is a daily supportive level. Then dropping to the hourly time frame, we can clearly see how the market reacted from that support. The only there was one opportunity which I think was exactly from right here, because the market pushed to the downside, broke all the structure, pulled back for a lower high formation. Dropping to the hourly, yes, we have the pullback right here. We have a little double top, and the opportunity was actually taken. Yeah, was that the trade I'm speaking about? I think this was a trade that was taken, something like this. I didn't take this one because it wasn't clear, but I believe somebody from the community took it, and then the take profit was to the downside. And then we have another one which wasn't really clear. Yeah, this was exactly the other one. It was around 10 exactly. So from right here, actually, we have a break and a retest, but this was a break even because the entry was around right here, something like this. Stop loss right here, and then the market pushed lower and came back to top break even, and then it actually flushed. So I think this trade, I said just now, but this was the actual trade that was taken, and it was a break even. And as you can see afterwards, it was just pretty hard to catch a trade. It was all consolidation and no clear movements at all. So what can I expect for right now is absolutely nothing, right? Because we have like a little bit of a change of structure, because if I really look deeper into the price, we have a break and a retest, we have a break and a retest, looks a little bit more longs, but definitely not clear price action. So I'm gonna mark my high, and then I'm gonna mark my low, which is around right here, something like this. And then guys, I'm gonna see how the market is gonna behave between those two areas. Are we gonna have a break and a retest to the upside? Are we gonna have a break and a retest to the downside? But I want to see something clear, because this one hasn't been moving very clear. You can see that we can force some trades on the hourly time frame definitely works out, but when the market is just not trading nicely, we usually don't have many nice trades. So on Euro Aussie, we had some nice trades right here, but definitely looking forward to some nicer price action. Let's have a look at the Aussie, starting from AU. So we have a little weekly candle right here, and it was definitely very hard to trade AU, and I didn't have any trades on this one. There was potentially one opportunity, but it wasn't really clear. So as you can see from a daily time frame, like the last 5 days is just wick, huge wick again, and then we have a little bit of a bearish candle, and doesn't make too much sense. Like it was overall moving to the upside. We had this massive push to the upside, then we expecting a pullback right here for a higher low. The market manipulated down, then came back up again, but then it started to consolidate. So what I will try to figure out right now is if this structure right here is a lower high in order for the market to continue down on the daily time frame. But again, we just have to follow the structure, and we're gonna see what will happen. So the only opportunity on AU this week was this break and the retest right here after the market introduced the volume, pulled back for a higher low formation. So a long opportunity could have been taken right here, but the first opportunity was during Asia. So it was around right here, as you can see, 3 o'clock. This is Asian session, but then we have again a break and a retest of this structure right here. So the second trade was right here, and I believe we had one member taking it. Not sure if it reached take profit because we usually target a higher high, but this was a ranging market, so it would have been a very smart choice to put the take profit right here. But personally, I didn't take this trade, so I'm not gonna speak too much about it. And if we just have a look at the structure, guys, the first thing that you see when you open your chart is actually your best bet, right? So when I open this chart, I see consolidation, and I'm not gonna force it further from that. We have this sort of resistance. We have like I will draw the most recent support, which is right here. So I want to see some clear volume introduced. We have push, pullback, push, higher high, then we have an equal, higher low, then the market creates a double top, fails to continue higher. Right now we have a bearish engulfing on market close. So what I need to see on AU is, if we're going short, I want to see a clear break with the market staying below right here, then pulling back for a lower high, and then continuing to the downside, and my trade will be taken from right here. And then we can continue to trade it to the downside. But if the market finds support around that area, then I'm just not gonna trade it, because it's not worth it taking trades into a consolidation, just jumping ping pong between those levels. Something like this as well, I would never take a trade in this kind of price action. The trade that I was willing to take was from here after we had a clear introduction of volume. But right now, very simple, Aussie USD is consolidating, so waiting for some clear direction to be introduced. Aussie JPY, another beautiful pair to be traded this week. I personally did not take any trades on AJ, but my team killed it on AJ. So I'm gonna show you what were the trades taken. So weekly time frame, as you can see, a strong bearish candle to the downside, indicating that we can potentially continue downwards for the next week. And the last 5 days for AJ have been bearish. And another very nice thing to spot is that the market is breaking below this daily area, which is pretty massive, but we can expect a little bit of a pullback into the start of the next week. So from Aussie JPY perspective, what do we have right here is the market breaking the lows, massive push to the upside. Not sure if there was an opportunity right here, but there was an opportunity right here and one right here. So dropping to the hourly time frame, and there was actually one here that was taken exactly from right here. So I'm gonna show you this one as well. And as you can see, those are all lower high formations, but we have a very unique way of trading them. So the first opportunity was, yeah, it was exactly from right here. As you can see, very simple, guys, consolidation, breakout, and then we have the trade taken from exactly right here. The stop loss was, I think it was tightly placed, and then we rode it all the way to the downside for a not sure if it was written to the downside because the take profit looked a little bit too far away, but it was definitely a very nice trade that I'm not sure what the take profit of the team was, but I didn't take this trade. Again, it was around New York session, and I'm usually a little bit busy by that time, and I try to focus more on London, but this was the first trade taken on AJ. Second one, absolutely the same. Consolidation right here. No, this actually did not provide a pullback, and we were pretty sad about it. So potentially a trade could have been taken just from a simple lower high right here. But then we have another thing that happens is that we have a little bit of a complex correction right here, which usually does not play out nicely. But at the end of the day, it ended up playing very nicely to the downside. And the last opportunity was taken exactly from right here. if we have a look again, this is very nice to see. Manipulation above the market filling that wick, which is a huge hourly wick right here, creating a lower high formation, pushing to the downside, retesting the structure, entries right here, stop loss is above the structure, and take profit is then as we always do right here. And as you can see, it got missed by just by a few pips, but it is what it is. All right, I think we're taking partials as well, so there are definitely some pretty nice setups for this week. So those are the trades, guys. As you can see, we have right here, we have, let's say 6R, right here we have around 4R. So definitely you can make a very nice percentage when you have some of those picture perfect setups, which are all thoughts in the our TFW modules. So what can I expect for the upcoming week? Well, we had this lower high formation right here. Right now the market tries to create a lower low. It kind of made it, but if I catch the lowest wick right here, was it really broken? It wasn't. All right, so this is a very little detail, is that the market is sitting right now in the middle, trying to push lower, creating a beautiful lower high, but I will never trade a lower high that comes from Friday, because Monday will potentially open and it will push the price all the way up. This happens all the time. So as from an AJ perspective, it's looking very nice that we had some beautiful opportunities on this one. But again, what I would love to see is just how the market is gonna open, because I'm always adapting to the market every single day. I'm shifting my bias and I'm just following the structure. So if this one does something like this, then I'm just gonna buy the market. Right, and we have a very unique way of analyzing this. So if the market continues lower, then I'm gonna sell it. If the market continues higher, then I'm gonna buy it. So definitely stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis, guys, to see what do we have on Aussie JPY. Next on the list are the NZDs. So let's have a look. What do we have right here? We have an overall bullish candle from a weekly time frame, which was a nice break and retest on the weekly time frame. So let's see if actually NZD USD is gonna continue up for a higher high, because from a daily time frame perspective right now we are tapping into this just a very simple structural resistance. It's nothing much. It's just a resistance that potentially will be broken. All right, so from a daily time frame you can see that we had an overall bullish week on NZD USD, but unfortunately the opportunities provided weren't at the perfect time. So the first opportunity was from right here, and then we have this shift of momentum, and I thought that we were gonna shift to bearish market, but you can see then again the market exploded massively to the upside. So this was very fun to see. But let me show you actually what was the opportunity. As you can see, we have a push and a pullback. This was a higher low from a full hourly time frame perspective, and then we had that little manipulation to the downside, so we can take the trade after this kind of close right here that goes above the EMA. And then we had another very interesting setup from an hourly perspective. We call this retracement trades as well, break retest right here, so you can potentially capitalize a little bit on the move to the downside. And as you can see, we had the bearish introduction, we had the retest, and then the market moved even more than we expected, because we would usually not target a lower low, because if the market makes a lower low, this means that the trend is changing. But this was pretty funny to see, because it broke the lows and we thought, okay, we have a break of this structure, so it's time to shift bearish. But then the market emerged above, retested that structure from the other side, and massively pumped to the upside, creating a new higher high. I did not take any trades on NZD USD, and I'm not sure if actually the team traded it as well. So what can I expect for this one? Well, right now we have broken above the higher high, we have created a new higher high, and right now the market is pulling back for a higher low. What you can do for further confidence is you can drop a little fib. You can see that the 38.2 aligns with the previous higher high, but I would always expect the market to pull back around those areas. So potentially I am looking for for longs on NZD USD. Why? Because everything is pointing to the upside right now. But what I will need to see is the market start to form a supportive level around right here. Why? Because I need to see that the buyers are entering the market. All right, I want to see some pressure coming from the downside, a wick from the downside, a wick from the downside, and then potentially I'm gonna look for my patterns on the 15-minute time frame. So NZD/USD bullish bias for Monday and Tuesday, but it can totally change into the opening of the week. So let's see what do we have. NZD/JPY was a very nice one as well, but EJ, AJ, and the UJ as well, CAD JPY were much better, because as you can see right here, we just have a little indecision doji candle just because of the strength of the NZD. NZD/JPY could not drop to the downside, and as you can see, we have 5 days of just consolidation and just wicks everywhere. From a full hourly time frame perspective, like, we could have taken a short around those areas right here, because the market then made a lower low and it was overall trending to the downside, and we had a head and shoulders confluence right here. But then the market reversed to the upside, and right now it's pulling back. So we have to figure out, looks very familiar to NZD USD as well, is we have to figure out if this is gonna be a higher low for the market to continue up, or is it gonna shift to the downside and trend down. So from right here, it was very difficult to catch a trade. If I go to the 15-minute time frame, we have this head and shoulders. Actually, this was a trade caught, I'm sure, by Danny, a member of the community, just because of this head and shoulders and this introduction of the pressure and then a lower high. So this was caught, but I think it was stopped out of break even or something, or it came very close to break even. Not sure of his entry, but this was a trade taken. And then the market just didn't provide any other setups. Like, we could have taken a trade from right here. But what was very interesting and what I looked at, but I hesitated taking just because it was looking like a downwards moving market already, is this break in the retest right here from an hourly time frame perspective, which provided a beautiful trade from a 15-minute perspective with a break of this structure right here, and a retest from the other side, which was a zero drawdown trade. I love those trades because it's one of our systems. It's actually TFW 2.1 strategy that we trade, and it resulted in a massive trade. But the only thing that stopped me is that the market was already shifting to the downside, and we had a lower low from a 4-hourly time frame perspective. So I said, okay, the trend is not in my direction, so I'm just gonna step aside from this trade. But it was definitely a massive trade to be taken as well. So this is NJ right now. Difficult to figure out what's gonna happen, because if we just have a look, it's an overall consolidation box right here, right? So I'm just gonna mark this area right here, and I'm gonna see how Monday is gonna open. Don't want to say anything right now. Definitely looks like a long opportunity because we're having a Fibonacci level, we're having a potential higher low. So let's see if the market is gonna start finding some support right here and then provide us with some long opportunities, but definitely not gonna trade it on Monday. The USD JPY weekly time frame, as you can see, the JPY was very strong, pushing USD JPY to the downside, providing us with all of the opportunities on the JPY. So finally this market broke out of this overall consolidation right here, introducing some massive selling pressure. As you can see, the last 5 days are perfectly bearish. The market just opened and it started to melt to the downside. So what I can expect right now though is that the market will pull back from a daily time frame, because we just created the lower low, and we usually, what do we have after a lower low? We have a lower high. So maybe a daily pullback is upcoming, so make sure to keep that in mind. But again, from the start of the week, first opportunity right here, second opportunity right here, third opportunity right here, and then fourth opportunity right here. I already broke USD JPY. I broke down on USD JPY on my trading setups videos, so make sure to check it out. I will leave a card right here. But just dropping to the to the hourly time frame, lower high formation, lower high formation, lower high formation, and a lower high formation. Very simple, guys. You just need the rules to be entering those trades. And then dropping to the 15-minute time frame, entry right here, entry right here, entry right here. And then this one was a little bit tricky because we had a little bit of a spike, but we had the vet as well from the community taking this one as well. So it's very beautiful pair for this week. All right, make sure to check the video because I broke down the trade right there. So what we can expect right now, guys, well, it's perfectly trading to the downside, but as I said, we can expect a daily pullback. This is the most recent lower high, so I'm never allowing this lower high to be broken. Not that I'm gonna punch 100 locks from here to push the market down, but I will just see if the market is gonna respect around those areas, if it's gonna create the wicks right here, if it's gonna create a lower high, so then I can potentially take it down. So on USD JPY, definitely looking for shorts, but still keeping at the back of my mind that we can have a daily pullback. All right, so UJ, looking for shorts. Let's see what Monday has for us. Let's strike on Tuesday. Make sure to stay tuned for the Telegram analysis, and let's see what do we have for this beautiful pair this week. USD CAD weekly time frame. So this pair was consolidating most of the time, but as you can see from a weekly time frame, we have this push to the downside, pullback, push to the downside right now, creating a pullback. So are we gonna roll to the downside? We don't know. But as you can see from a daily time frame, we have this very strong support and we have this very strong resistance. Not sure where to draw it, either from here or from the top, but the 4 hourly time frame is actually gonna make sense. Here it is. So what you can see here here, guys, is that there is a very strong demand area or support area, whatever it is, and then we have this major support, and then we have this minor resistance. Sorry, I don't trade support and resistance, so if it really doesn't matter if it's support or resistance for me. It's just a level of a structure. So what you can see right here, the market tapping, then we had a little fake out to pierce through this area right here, then we melted to the downside. but I couldn't spot any tradable opportunity on USD-CAD from my approach. So this was definitely worth trading from a supply demand and support and resistance strategy, but it wasn't really a trade for me. So what I can expect right now for this one, I'm just gonna keep these structures on, but what I'm gonna wait for is for some introduction of volume. I can trade the hourly time frame, because what I can see right here is that the market consolidated, pushed to the highs, pulled back, so I could definitely take a trade from right here, but I just don't like doing this when I know that I'm in an overall consolidation from the higher time frames. So what I will need to see is the market create a clear direction, either push to the upside to create a clear higher low and actually hold, like we have a higher high. Then on the pullback, I believe I would have been looking for longs right here, but then the market broke to the downside. So if I have a clear introduction, a clear pullback with the market holding and providing me with the patterns on the 15-minute that I trade, then I can potentially take a long. But again, we can expect the market to roll to the downside, so we never know what's gonna happen. So keep those levels on. Let's wait for Monday to play out, and then let's strike on Tuesday and see what do we have. USD Swiss franc, not really a nice pair to be traded because it was looking like USD CAD, and as you can see, we have a little weekly candle right here. Dropping down to the daily time frame, what did we have? It seemed like we had this bullish introduction right here for a potential pullback. Then the market started to wick through right here, and if we can see the last 5 days, it wasn't really clear where the market was going. It was just throwing wicks to the downside right here, indicating potentially that we might push up. And as you can see on Friday, we have this very nice bullish engulfing candle as well. So looking at the full hourly time frame, you can see what the market did for the whole week. Oops, let me draw the rectangle. This was the price action. Then we had this very nice introduction of buyers, and I said, okay, we're finally breaking above this consolidation box. Many of us looked for a retest right here, but the opportunity was never provided. We had a loss right here. Actually, a member of the community took a trade from right here, from these areas right here, but then it got stopped out to the downside, and then a consolidation, and then the market actually went up to create a deeper pullback into a deeper Fibonacci level. If I draw it, like, it almost came to the 78.6, so definitely a little bit unlucky. And then we had a little shift from an hourly time frame perspective, so potentially there could have been Friday trades around right here, but I'm not trading on Friday, so definitely not worth it. So this is USD CHF, really nothing to be spotted this week, just a little bit, and maybe a loss for the team this week. But we have right now this higher low formation. The market is pushing to the upside, so it's already pushing to the upside, so I cannot take a trade when the market is pushing if I don't drop to the 15-minute and just follow the structure. So what I want to see on USD Swiss franc, something very major for me, will be how the market will react to that area, because right now it's just in the middle. It might come right here, it might consolidate, and it might push up. But if I have a clear break in the retest, then potentially this is when we're gonna have the buyers coming into the market. So definitely those are the two levels that I'm working with. The market is right now in the middle of nowhere, so what we have to do, we have to be patient. All right, so this is on USD Swiss franc. Let's have a look at those two levels and let's see what Monday will provide us. All right, let's have a look at the GBP, starting from GU as always. What do we have from a weekly time frame is actually this bearish candle to the downside, and this week we're having a little bit of a pullback. So what we have to figure out right now for GU is if the market is gonna create a lower high exactly from right here, and it's gonna plummet to the downside. We are already having the reaction, so I believe the GBPs are gonna roll to the downside right now, but we definitely have to see what the structure is gonna create, because what did we have is this little break in the retest, and we took a long from right here, and then we had this little break in the retest and we took a long from right here, but it was more manipulation trading, and we have a very massive strategy upcoming into our community, so make sure to stay tuned because I'm gonna roll out some info on it. And then on the hourly time frame, so the first trade was taken from right here, I believe, or in around those areas, and on that wick exactly, we had a massive pump to the upside, and then we have another push to the downside into that structure, and another push to the upside. I haven't took a trade on GBP USD, but we have our member that is taking it, and it's actually gonna show us how to do as well. So what I would expect on the GBP right now is, again, as I said, is if this is going to be a daily lower high. We already see the reaction, so definitely excited to see if it's going to roll to the downside. In terms of the most recent structure, this was a higher low formation. Right now we're breaking to the downside, introducing some very nice volume to the downside. However, what I can see as well is that there is a very strong supportive area right here that the market manipulated into, massively pushed to the upside. This was news. We had some major GBP news. So definitely on GU, if I have a little pullback into market open around these areas right here, I'm going to be taking a short into that area. And then if that area breaks, then we're gonna roll to the downside from a daily time frame. All right, so we can expect a massive flush from a daily time frame perspective. So let's see for GU, short bias, just waiting for that pullback and then striking it to the downside. GJ has been very messy the whole week. So when you see this consolidation, I would just advise you not to trade because you're gonna cry later. And as you can see, with that strong push to the downside, introducing all of the sellers, but it was just a nasty manipulation. And then the market comes back again into the consolidation. And right now it looks like it's trying to break below. This one is a little bit too low though. And as you can see, we had that little daily pullback. And right now we're already starting to roll to the downside, but this wick right here is just being filled by this daily candle. So definitely a little bit skeptical about GJ. So just want to see how Monday and Tuesday are gonna play out. I'm gonna give some time on this one because we can potentially have a retest back for a lower high, and if this happens, then we can take a short. But the market can roll back into the structure again, start to consolidate. But again, it's influenced by GU and USD JPY. It's a combination of GBP USD and USD JPY. So definitely if UJ continues down and if GU continues down, then this one is gonna flush hard. All right. So let's see, very curious to see what's gonna happen on Monday. The perfect situation will be a pullback around those areas and then taking a short on GJ. And then we have GA, which had a little bit of a different structure. Because right here we were creating a little bit of a bullish structure. It wasn't really clear into the beginning of the week. Like we had this push to the upside, pullback, break of the lows. It was just consolidating. We had this introduction of the buyers. And then we had a long opportunity as well from right here. It was just a simple break in the retest, higher low formation. But then the market tried to break higher, failed, tried to break higher and failed again. So again, we have this supportive level. So what I want to see on GA, as you can see how quickly I can develop absolutely everything without even analyzing the hard time frame. It's just the full hourly time frame that I'm trading every single day. So what I need to see is the market either to show us the bears or either to show us the bulls. It's as simple as that. So let's see. New structure has to be created. Overall, we're trending to the upside right now. So definitely the market has to come up with some steam to the downside. And if we have a nice break to the downside with a nice lower high formation, then I'm gonna start looking for shorts on GA. And Euro GBP, we had a massive trade taken by a member of the community, which was exactly from right here, which I thought a little bit aggressive, but it ended up playing very nicely. So what we can see from a daily time frame is the only thing that worries me. Well, it doesn't worry me because we should actually turn bullish. Is this massive push to the upside with a very beautiful pullback into the EMA, which is very major. Full hourly time frame, it's already starting to consolidate, so it created the bottom. And right now it's creating a higher low formation and it's already starting to change to the upside. And we have a set of indicator, actually TFW 2.1 is the thing that is gonna show us when to actually enter that market. So let's see how it goes. But first of all, like we have this little broken structure, which looks very nice, but I'm really fearful of this one as well right here. So let's see how Monday is gonna open, and if we can potentially have a little retest and then a break of this structure right here, then longs are gonna be upcoming because GBP USD is gonna be flushing as well. So let's just be patient and see what do we have. And just to show you the trade that our member took, it was a little bit risky, very risky, but it was actually a beautiful sniper trade. It was from exactly right here, stop loss above, and I'm not sure for how long he rided it to the downside, but it was just very massive. And again, it was all the strategy that we trade. It just didn't fulfill some of the rules, but it was actually a very, very good one. Right, so this is for the GBPs, guys. Really looking forward to see what is up ahead. If GU starts to roll down, then Euro GBP is gonna start providing some nice opportunities as well. So let's see if this is gonna turn to the upside. And let's see for GJ as well. Make sure to stay patient because this one is a little bit tricky, but GU definitely looks very nice. So let's see. Let's have a quick look on gold. So from a weekly time frame perspective, again, we're still stuck in this consolidation box. And if I just draw a few lines, then I'm gonna adjust them on the daily time frame. As you can see, yeah, they're even staying very nicely right here. We can see that the market is really failing to break below, and it's in an overall consolidation from a daily time frame perspective. So definitely we need to see some movements. And as for intraday trading, actually it was pretty interesting to trade gold intraday. Why? Because we had this area exactly right here that the market was respecting very nicely. Then we have this area right here that the market respected as well. As you can see right here, break, retest. So we could have taken longs right here, but then the market created this double bottom and massively broke to the downside. All of the people were looking for shorts right here, but the market manipulated to the downside, grabbed the volume, so we could have potentially entered the long down here, and then we had the market emerging above this area, coming back for a retest, and then there was another long right here to take it to the upside. All right, I didn't take it any trades, but it was just very interesting to watch those intraday moves into this daily consolidation. So what I can expect on gold, well, I remove this area because it doesn't make sense right now, and I want to focus on, let me just delete this one and draw a new one on this area right here. And how is it going to develop? I'm going to keep this support because this support is pretty major, and any clear break below, not a break like this, any clear break below is going to indicate sellers, and then we can potentially roll to the downside. But I'm more long biased on gold, so what I want to see is either the market pull back and then break these areas and then just show me the buyers finally. Because right here I thought we were going up, but then the market created the double top and I said, okay, we're not ready. And actually that's when we rolled to the downside. But again, we didn't turn completely bearish because we're overall moving in this consolidation box. All right. So keep in mind of those areas. Let's see how Monday is going to open. Not this one right here, the most recent one. So let's see, very curious to see what's going to happen on gold. Make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis and see how Monday has opened. Wrapping up the video with a very quick look on the indices. So from a weekly time frame, we're overall trending to the upside. That is pretty nice. We had a little bit of sellers upcoming though on US30 because I had a very nice long setup and I actually bought some stocks as well. So the setup was looking something like this. We had this structure that got broken, retested, then we started to trade up. Then we had again a break in the retest, and it was looking very nice until we created this double top. We rolled to the downside, we retested the neckline, and we're actually right now rolling to the downside. Right. So the levels that I'm gonna work with for the remaining for the start of this week is this one, actually the neckline, and then the supportive level, which is we have a pretty strong support level from the downside, but it's just wicks. So I'm just gonna take into consideration this one. We have a huge wick right here. So what I need to see on the indices is if the market is gonna continue down, retest and start creating a downtrend, or if you're gonna emerge above and create a new uptrend. Absolutely the same as NASDAQ, which was a little bit weaker. Like we had again a break in the retest, but it wasn't really significant. And then we tapped into these right here supply and demand areas, and then the market just rolled to the downside, creating a beautiful lower high and actually right now trading to the downside. So on this one, I'm gonna work with this structure, which is the most recent lower high, and I'm gonna see if the market is gonna stay below it. Any break above it is a bullish sign that the market is gonna trade to the upside. But again, I'm not an expert on those. I just follow them for my stock investments. Actually, S&P 500 is the main thing that I follow, but I just put money in it. I'm not trading it. So it's very nice to see for me that the market is turning bullish because I'm gonna put in some money. But I use dollar cost averaging as well. Make sure to Google it. There is a lot of info on it. Make sure to let me know if you want more videos on stocks as well. All right. So this is for this week, guys. I really hope you appreciate the analysis, and we found a lot of helpful tips in this one because we had some beautiful trades, especially on the JPYs. And thank you so much for staying up until now. Make sure to like the video, make sure to leave a comment because I always appreciate it, guys, and it really means a lot to me. It keeps me doing those videos, so make sure to click the like button, and this is all I need. All right, so thank you again for staying up until now. Make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday Telegram analysis, and I cannot wait to see you on my next video.